Hello and welcome. Another day, another dollar, baby. You're watching My 11th Circle presents Crick Buzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapoor in Mumbai. Joining us from Durban, we've got Sean Pollock. Polly, how's it going?
Gaurav, all good. A bit of a cold spell come through here, so jersey on tonight.
I can see it's looking a little cloudy behind you, so just sort of be careful.
No rain at the stadium, so we're all right.
Okay, so that's fine. Have you recovered from the game last night?
Well, yeah, it was exciting. We've had two in a row. Can we have a third one? I don't know. It's going to be a difficult act to follow up.
Done.
Wait and
Just
see.
Give me a second. It'll get done. We also have Pommy Mbangwa joining us from Dubai. Pommy, how are you, my friend?
Gaurav, I'm good. Hello, Sean. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I too have made my room cold. I'm able to do that, and hence the long sleeve top. I just thought a change of weather would be good. So yes, I'm good too. Yeah, very good.
It's pretty cool here, man, at Crick Buzz Live. It's pretty cool. Keep things pretty chill. I'm just really happy that you've managed to find the camera and you managed to find us, because on Instagram, we've been following your travel logs and tend to get lost a lot, my friend.
I have made sure I've kept my GPS on my phone, okay? So that, from here to breakfast and back, from here to gym, from my bed to the corner where I am here, yeah, I can always kind of have a look. Yeah, right here. I can have a look here.
Oh, there you go. He's managed to find his way from his bed to the chair without losing it. But we've all been losing it the last 2 days because those games have just gone down to the wire, of course. They've been roller coasters. You haven't been able to call them till the very, very end. And that's the beauty of T20 cricket. And that's exactly what we want to see. As Polly was saying, are we going to get a threefer? Are we going to get a threefer? Are we going to get three-peat today? We've got Delhi and Hyderabad playing. We've got two exciting games, of course. We've got two exciting teams, of course. There's the young Delhi team, as former champions Hyderabad, who seem to be tinkering and tampering a lot because they don't seem to be getting their 11 correct. Have they got it correct today? That is, of course, the question. We'll give you an update of the toss. It was Shreyas Iyer who won the toss and decided that they were going to chase. Polly, this keeps happening, right? Just everybody just wants to chase. Whether they do it or they don't, it doesn't matter. They just want to chase.
Yeah, I think in the T20 format, you get comfortable with chasing. You get an idea of what you've got to do. And then I think everyone's so worried. I think Dubai is probably the best ground from a due perspective. Abu Dhabi doesn't seem to be very good. I think their ball gets quite wet quite quickly. So they prefer to get the bowling over and done with, and then chase whatever on the board. But I must tell you a sad story that I actually went to bed thinking about the bowlers last night and thinking about there's got to be something we can do for these poor guys, man. They can't be just disappearing at will. So, give me a few weeks. I'm going to work on something, and then maybe we'll come back with some ideas of what they can do. But having a bowl first, I think, takes the pressure off just a little bit.
Bobby, what do we do? Should we just pull the boundaries back like 100 feet?
I don't think it's going to make any difference. Pull the boundaries back as
200 feet.
You want. I think maybe 250. I tell you what, if you think about the two games, just play them back in your mind. In Sharjah, we're sitting there thinking, okay, small crowds, and so you can understand to what you think can happen. You can get yourself out of jail. You can hit it out the ground, no trouble, even with some mishits. What about yesterday? Dubai is huge. And I know there was a short boundary, but it wasn't the short one that they kept going over. It kept going over the long one. The ball looked like it was going to go out of the Dubai International Stadium. So I reckon because of the sixes that are being hit, everyone's going into that sort of mode that they're going to back their strength, their ability to hit sixes. As bowlers, you're just going to the slaughter, I tell you.
Yeah, you really are getting to the slaughterhouse. Let's have a look at the Hyderabad team now real quick. And they have decided to be talking about it. Kane Williamson has indeed come in, and he's coming for Nabi. Ooh, that's a call that will cause a bit of discussion. There's Abdul Samad who comes in for Ridhiman Saha, gets just the one game and then is dropped. And young Abdul Samad comes in. So they've got the batting now. You've got batting going down till number 8. Rashid Khan, proper bat. We've seen fireworks from him. Bhuvi's no mug as well. So obviously strengthening their batting. But what about their bowling? We'll talk about it in a second. With Delhi, their bowling has been strengthened because Ishant Sharma, with his back niggle, missing the first few games, coming in now, and of course takes Avesh Khan's place, who took Mohit Sharma's place. So there you go. They're happy with that. They'd be happier if Ashwin was, of course, fit as well. But I guess they're resting him, looking at him for yet another game. Well, you can choose your team as well. That's the team you're most interested in, aren't you? You want to pick your team. You can do it in my11circle.com. So just download the app and choose today's game, which is Delhi and Hyderabad. Pick your 11 and, of course, try and beat Dada if you can. And there's also the added weekly Karorpati that you can become. So, well, you know, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot at stake. But for me, there's a lot at stake for Hyderabad today. And are you, not surprised that Kane Williamson comes in. They're worried about their batting. They're worrying about it sort of falling off a cliff once the two openers go away. But you're also saying Nabi is really, really successful against left-handers. Delhi got 3 out of 6 in their top order.
Yeah, I think you sit there in the room and in selection, there's a whole lot that goes on with regard to which guys are our guns. And sometimes I think you can be blinded. In a case where you're having to choose between, do I leave out Nabi or do I leave out Rashid Khan? Because they're not going to leave out either of Bairstow or Warner. I reckon I might have been in this particular game because of the way that Delhi Capitals line up. If you wanted to strengthen the batting by bringing in Williamson, I might have been tempted to go with drop Rashid Khan rather than drop Nabi, because number one, he's got some batting for you, and number two, he's good with those off spinners. He's able to bowl up at the front and in the middle as well. So he gives you a couple of options, especially in a side that's missing firepower in terms of batting. He's able to clear the boundary. So I don't know. I think it might be a bit of an error, but they're kind of juggling. Which way do they go?
Yeah, Paulie, what do you say? I mean, that's a big call as well, right? Because Rashid Khan almost becomes like their compulsory blind, right? In 3-card poker.
Oh, he's such a class act, and we've seen what he's done over the years. But Pommy's point is so valid, because also look at that Delhi batting lineup. They've got quite a few left-handers in there, so Nabi would have been rather effective, I feel.
And big ones, Shikhar, Hetmeyer, Rishabh. Those are big left-handers.
Yeah,
big.
Exactly. And then the only thing is, as Pommy said, when you look at that Sunrisers team and you think to yourself, if you get past those top two, you know, Nabi and Rashid Khan, the contributions they make with the bat, you're almost looking at them saying, okay, those are like bonus contributions that they're going to make, rather than people that we can rely on. Like, for example, someone coming in at 5 and 6 who's going to, like a Pollard, for example, who's going to give you some more runs more often. So when I did look at their batting lineup, I thought to myself, it does look a little bit thin. I feel sorry for Sahar Shame. You know, he's fought his way back to get an opportunity, but his strike rate the other night just wasn't good enough, was it? So they've decided to knock him out the side. And then there's Samada. You know, I hear he's a big hitting player in the middle order, and you do feel that they need some firepower there. But I think what they've decided to do is go with the solidity up front, big runs from the top 3. Invariably in T20 cricket, you can get away to the 15th over with one of the top 3 batting through to that period. And I think that's what Sunrisers are banking on. And if they can do that and guys can bat around them, then maybe they're not too worried about the bowling options if they feel like they've got a score on the board.
You know, guys, I thought that they might have been able to, and this is kind of a thought I've had with how they lengthen their batting order in order to cover up for that middle. And Ridhiman Saha, I remember him batting quite well. And I think it was against the Sunrisers Hyderabad in a final at Chinnaswamy, where he opened the batting, and perhaps they could get him up there, because I think that's the only place he can bat, really. If you're trying to use him to the fullest, tell him not to waste any deliveries, and ask which of Warner or Bairstow, and as you go along, you could try to swap them around. Which one of those two can go number 3 and can adapt to number 3 best? If one of them does, then your order is a bit longer. then Wriddhiman Saha doesn't waste any deliveries up at the front, and he must go. He can't go in and sort of half go at it. He must go and try and make sure that they're getting off to a solid start each time, or he's wasting nothing and he's out. Then that order gets that little bit longer.
He's opened with Virender Sehwag in Punjab. He's got 100 there as well. So, I mean, the guy against Kolkata, and the guy can do a bit. He can hit the ball. Paulie, sorry, you had a point on that?
Yeah, I think also Manish Pandit went well in the last game, didn't he? Yeah, he played nicely. So to have those four as your top four, I think you shouldn't be looking too far past it. And then the next three must really just be dashes. There must be guys who clear the boundary at
which
work.
Abhishek is. We know Abhishek Sharma is. He's a big left-hander. We haven't seen much from Priyam Garg, but obviously under 19, he's got a big name as well. And Sunrisers, it's very unlike them. They usually, they've got Vijay Shankar for one game, they've dropped him. They've got Wriddhiman Saha for one game, they've dropped him. These are solid Indian players. I mean, you think that these are players who have the track record of getting more than one game?
Yeah, you would. I do just think that in a team environment, when Kane Williamson, what he's done for them over the years, is when you get into a dressing room, we look around and there's Kane, oops, he's not playing. There's Kane, oops, he's not playing again. You're almost in many ways looking for an opportunity. Somehow, how do you get him into the team? And I think with the way Saha went, it's almost like presented that opportunity of, okay, come on, our batting lineup, let's strengthen it and see how that goes, and then just bite the bullet with the bowlers. You know, you've got some relatively new on the scene bowlers, who've had a bit of a taste of the Indian team, and maybe they're going to try and rely on them all to do their full 4 overs.
Well, we're talking about the big top 3 for Hyderabad, that they are going to be batting first. But let's not forget number 4. Let's not forget Manish Pandey, because Manish Pandey has been expending a lot of energy, spending a lot of time in the middle, and that's why he is on our Boost stamina meter. If you look at him, he's right up there. On top with 92.1. That's his stamina score. And of course, he's got that by spending a lot of time in the middle. And it's not just spending time. He's obviously, he's running a lot as well. So he is getting more than half his runs, for me, from running between the wickets. And well, you're going to do that. There's going to be a lot of stamina required to do that, to just keep rotating the strike.
Yeah, it's a good thing that he doesn't, waste deliveries and tries to seize opportunities to run and make sure that he's not giving away dot balls or turning ones into twos. However, it works better if at the other end there's a person who's striking and smashing it out the ground. And for many, it's, whilst I try to get myself set for the launch, I should make sure that I take 1 and 2. You see De Villiers do it as well. Pollard maybe not so quick, but he still yesterday was able to do that as he tried to get himself set. He ran so hard between wickets, and yes, they had a huge total to chase. But I think it's a point to make that you need at the other end somebody else who's going whilst you rotate, strike, and turn ones into twos before you launch yourself.
What can Manish Pandey do a little better? Because today, with that kind of top 3, I don't think he's going to get that many deliveries. Well, Hyderabad will be hoping he doesn't get that many deliveries. So when he comes, it's pretty much going to be all systems launch.
Yeah, and you think you'd maybe go in with a little bit more confidence. In the last game, he comes in at 3 and you maybe look around and think, well, who's to follow? Maybe I have to take my time and just get myself in. Whereas today, he'd probably get himself in. He would be hoping only after 10, 12, 14 overs where he can just walk in and express himself. But you also do think that maybe they've gone with the extra batting option because of the bowling lineup of Delhi. There's a real strength there. The 2 South Africans, and Nortje and Rabada, have done particularly well. Ishant comes back in, and then you've got the 2 international Indian spinners. So it's a real quality attack. And maybe this side has been picked to try and combat what Delhi is going to throw at them, and then just make them feel more comfortable.
And in combating it, I think the lengthening of a batting order probably gives more license to playing more shots at them. We were talking before we came on here, and Sean, I think you said rightly, and I agree 100%. You can't be 150 for 4 at the end of your 20 overs. That's no. Yeah. A four down, you had 10 wickets. You've got to go at it. So I think they lengthen it. hopefully they do go at it more and for longer.
There's
And
one
that's why
guy.
Sahar lost his place because, 140 for 4 they were. You want to be 150 for 7. Those little
true.
8 runs make a big difference. So, I think it'll be a bigger and a better, more aggressive approach from Sunrisers today.
There's one guy whose approach is always aggressive, is young Rishabh Pant. He is our My 11 Circle trump card today. He's a guy you definitely want to pick in your team. You're not sure whether he'll come out of bat at 4 or come out of bat at 5. Delhi's also been kind of fluid with their batting order. Sometimes Hetmeyer comes at 3, Shreyas Iyer comes at 3, Stoinis is in good form. But Rishabh Pant, you might see a little more of him today because he does have a good record against Hyderabad. And Paulie, you're happy to see that 162 strike rate, yeah? Doesn't mess about.
There's always those teams you just love to come up against. You just get a good vibe about them and you tend to play well against them. It looks like Hyderabad's one of those teams for him. And he is coming to his own. I know last year there was a lot of discussion about how he would get himself in and then throw it away. I think even with these 5-6 months that he had off, sometimes it's good just to sit on the side and observe and watch and analyze your performances over the last year. And he does seem to, in the first few games, have a little bit more responsibility. You don't want him to be down laden with too much pressure on his shoulders and not wanting to play his shots because you can see how good his strike rate is. But I think he's going to go from strength to strength. And, obviously with Dhoni no longer going to be playing, there's a couple of guys putting their hands up to try and take that place. And he wants to be the main man. And by performing well here, he's going to do that.
Yeah, he is looking more cognizant of what the scoreboard and the situation is, definitely looking very aware and growing from season to season, strength to strength. All right. Once again, you can put your team on My 11 Circle. So do that. I hope you have, and put trump card in. We've been having a good record with our trump cards. We're also getting a lot of questions from all of you. Ask Crick Buzz Live. I keep saying Chris Bug. I don't know who that is. I don't know any guy called Chris Bug. In T20 cricket, why does the spotlight rarely fall on bowlers, particularly good ones like Kagiso Rabada? Is Saish Patel. No spotlight on Rabada? I want to disagree. It's not entirely true. It's not like he's operating in the shadows.
I think in answer, you might say, hey, it's a batsman's game. But because it's a batsman's game, a superstar like Rabada shines even more. He is outstanding. And I reckon, do you know what I reckon the biggest thing about him is? I think he's a combative character, a competitive character. He wants you to come at him. And when you do, he releases the Hulk. There's this monster that comes out, and he just loves battle. You watch him, if you speak to him, he's the nicest guy. Sometimes you even think, well, is this guy listening to me? Does he want to have a conversation? Not really. He's not. But get him on the field, and he's got that white line fever. And then get someone try and rile him on the field. Even worse. And it's fantastic to watch. He's brilliant. He just is.
Yeah, and I think he's a big player for Delhi, isn't he? I mean, we saw at the start of the IPL last year, before he was pulled home by the South African team, the massive impact he had, and those, the extra overs, the super overs that he controlled and ended up winning. Is then another example of that.
Russell one was beautiful.
Yeah, and he's done it again this year, and so he's a massive player, and he's coming with a lot of confidence. We saw some of the speeds, and I'm going to maybe have to send him a message to say, listen, Nokia's outdoing you consistently. The odd quick delivery get in there. I don't think he's not in the top 10 for the speed deliveries, but he'll get one going. Maybe Warner. They've had a few good battles over the years. Maybe he'll bring out the nasty in him.
A red rag to a bull.
Ole!
Ole!
We've got a few numbers for Kagiso Rabada. Let's pull those up on the screen. And there you go. His last wicketless spell was on the 2nd of May 2017, which was one pandemic and about 50 moons ago. He's taken 23 wickets in the last 9 matches. His economy rate is under 7.5. His bowling strike rate is good. And just to what you were saying, Pommy, I met him at the swimming pool, I think, last season. And you're so right. He seems like a palm tree on the beach, right? He's just like, oh. and then he's getting to the pool, and you see he's shredded. That boy is cut, right? He's got an 8-pack, perhaps a 10-pack. He is shredded. And just when you said the Hulk, that image came into mind because he's literally like Banner and Hulk.
He's a strong guy. Yeah, he's a strong guy, smooth action. He's got stronger, I think. I mean, and I suppose this is kind of with age and also kind of filling out into himself because he's not 18 and 19 anymore. And so, yeah, you tend to gain a bit more mass. And he's worked hard in the gym, no doubt about that. But good action, and probably has had to get stronger because of injury as well. And I think Sean, he'll find himself and slip himself again in terms of pace and getting back up there.
He will. And one thing I've noticed on the game so far, it almost looks like he's a bit of enjoyment in his face again. He's smiling a lot more. At the end of the last season, it almost felt like he was tired, and it was like doomsday or like Groundhog Day, coming out and playing all the time, whereas he looks fresh after these 5 or 6 months off. And I think that's good signs for him. But he can crank it up. And as I say, I think Warner and Bairstow might just bring the big nasty out of him today.
Yeah, and I mean, they're unleashing the big nasty, both of them, aren't they? I mean, they are regularly going 140 plus snorters. And we've got, I think we've got the menu card of that, what they're serving up to the batsmen. Let's pull that up on the screen. Well, there you go.
Nokia.
Look at him.
Oh,
whoa.
I tell you what, I love all those guys. I'm surprised to see Hazelwood on there.
I was going to say he gets a half five. He gets a half five for making that list, because I wouldn't have put him on that list.
Like when you think about him, you don't think like quick. You think, yeah, good bounce and it's a good length and consistent. But I suppose white ball cricket does that because you're fighting, aren't you? You're having to make sure that, I've got to be in this or else they're going to take me down. Yeah, but all those guys on that list, absolutely love watching them. Signing is fantastic.
Let's pull that list up again. I want to just see that, because that's a menu card for some spicy meatballs. Yeah,
I reckon we need to take a screenshot of that one and just send a message to KG and say, KG, are you playing uphill this year?
We should do that. Yeah, we should do that.
Just to see what reaction we get.
Yeah, we give him the game today, of course, and if he still doesn't show up on that speed gun, if he doesn't get a 147 plus today on the speed gun, I guess he'll be getting 2 WhatsApp messages from Polly and Pommy there, just sort of just turning the screws a little bit, the young man, just grilling him a little bit. I guess it'll just bring out the best in him, won't it? All right, so Hyderabad, of course, is going to be batting first, perhaps also because this is Delhi's first game. I remember Delhi is 2 from 2. But this is their first game over there. And Polly, as captain, usually when you come onto something which is untested, you haven't played over there, you usually do want to bowl first, right? And just have a look.
Yeah, particularly in the start of a series or new venues. But I think also the nature of the T20 game is they just feel comfortable, because if you get out for a low score, then you just apply your batting approach accordingly. And as I say, I think the dew factor is much bigger. I don't know if, Pommy, in the first game you worked at Abu Dhabi, I don't know if there was a massive impact of that dew, but we've seen it looks like it on the TV.
Yeah, certainly. It's the worst off the ground. Sharjah not so bad, but you're hiding. You're nothing near anyway. Dubai is okay, and I think teams might shift the other way. I don't know. With just the way the game goes and the difficulty of defending and everybody hitting boundaries, you tend to want to bat second. But in Abu Dhabi, you want to do it mainly because it's going to be even more difficult to hold the ball. Just a point I'll make on Delhi, they can pick an 11 as they've done today. That's all the international players. They, as far as I'm concerned, are the strongest side by some distance in this tournament. If you look at them and you look at their replacements, what they have, and they can fit them in quite nicely. And the guy who's been particularly impressive, and I think is getting quite great sort of help and the ability to be comfortable in his skin from the help he's getting, is the skipper, Shreyas Iyer. He's gone from this guy who was nervous turning up to this guy quite sure of himself, and some of the shots he plays as well. That side, I'm telling you guys, it's going to take some beating in this tournament.
No pressure, Delhi, no pressure. Listen, it is, I'm telling you, it's 2020, right? Strange things are happening this year. There will be a new winner who will be holding the trophy aloft on the 10th of November.
I hope you're right.
There you go. There's going to be a new winner. All right. Are we going to have a new winner today for the Joy Factor question, or is it going to be one of the usual suspects? Here is the question. 3 people who have played in this event have accomplished this feat in tests. Azhar Mahmood, Scott Styris, and one player who's playing this current event. Which feat in test cricket is this? First achieved by someone born in India. I know this.
I've got no joy on this one.
Tommy?
Whoa, no, I don't know. 3 people. Who are the 2 names? Azhar Mahmood, Scott Styris. They're both all-rounders.
Well, Azhar got 100 on debut. That's all I know. I played in that game. So maybe it's got something to do with that.
Azhar also came to Punjab as an English import, right? Because he's a UK citizen now. So something to do with that, you think? You think it's an immigration question?
Scotty's always been New Zealander and...
No, Australian, Queensland.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. Australian, Queensland. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something there, I'm telling you. Hashtag Crickbuzz Live. Send your answers in on Twitter. We've just got one last piece of business to go, which is the My 11 badge of honor. Look at it. Come in, quick. Paulie coming in hot. He's coming in hot.
177. It's got to be right today. Come on.
77. Come on, Paulie.
144 is what they're going to get.
141? What?
They're going to get 144. That's what they're going to get.
What do you know?
There's a lot of negativity. A lot of negativity from Pommy.
Yeah, you're really low balling.
I know that they've got these gun side Delhi. Sunrisers.
I think the quarantine's getting to him. I think that's what's happening. All right, so I'll also go low ball because he is closer to the ground, Paulie. He's closer to the ground. So I'm going to go with his instinct. I'm going to go with 155.
He's just split us. You see that? Oh, that's so bad.
But we've got 5 this way, that way anyway. So we're all safe. We're all safe. All right. Well, that's all we have time for right now. Big thank you to both Pommy and Sean for joining us. Big thank you to all of you for joining us. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Crickbuzz Combox. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. You were watching My 11 Circle presents Crickbuzz Live. We'll be back soon.